Sabe falar inglês, a gente
Ooh.
fala inglês.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
As you guys noticed, we're both Brazilians, but if if you guys had the chance to watch the channel, this is a Brazilian guy interviewing other players initially, the Brazilian ones, but around the U.S. market, Canada, and other places as well, because we all know that this is a promising market, right, Lucas? Welcome to my channel.
Thanks, Georgie. Thank you. Thank you for having me again. It's nice to do it in English this time. And yes, for sure. It's a very promising market. You see more and more Brazilians, more and more South Americans coming to the U.S. To play for the MLS, USL Championship, USL League One. So I'm glad I've been here for almost 10 years now. I'm glad I'm experiencing this growth in the market. And it's nice to see soccer being developed in another country, especially in a country so big and so important as United States.
Yes, and as you mentioned, you've been almost a decade in the U.S. and you've lived probably all these steps that the usual market in the U.S. require, right? You attended high school, at least the end of the high school in the U.S. You went to the university, you played at university, and in the current market, you play for the USL League Two, right? In the summer leagues, and
I
also
did.
correct me if I'm wrong, right? But you
Yeah,
had a
you're right.
chance to play for other leagues as well as well. This is a booming market, and other leagues still exist, like the NISA, right? But you played for the which was the market for the New York Cosmos at that time?
NASL, NASL,
Exactly,
which was
and
like
the
the
league
Nissan.
and the league folded a few years ago, right?
Yes, NASL, which was the oldest league in this country. It folded in 20 at the end of 2017, which was also my first year there. But it was a great experience. It folded for like mainly economical reasons and the development of other leagues affiliated with the MLS, such as USL Championship and the creation of USL League One. They were, being funded uh, heavily, I guess, with more people involved. So it left no option to the NSL, and they had to fold. But then a few years later, they recreated with the NISA, which is basically the same organization, same ownership, just a few different clubs and stuff. So yeah, it's and like I'm sure we're not done. I'm sure there'll be more leagues or even the development or the leagues that already existed for sure.
Yes, UPSL is impressive. It's spread all over the country in many regional different types of teams as well. And well,
Yeah,
even some NISA teams they have migrated to the USL, like the Open Roots, right? So
that's
this is
that's starting to happen for sure because of what I told you, like the investment in the USL Championship and like their connection with the MLS. So like teams are seeing themselves a little bit out of market when they're playing in a couple other leagues. So they kind of want to be a part of this because we're actually getting more attention, and then more players are being migrating to like a higher division such as the MLS. But like the main thing for me that proves all these things that we're talking about, Georgie, is that each year, right now we're about to start a new season. So for now, we still already know that some new teams are coming in next year, and like every August, September, as we get close to the end of one season, you start getting new clubs announcing for the next year because U.S. is such a huge country, and there are room for a couple more teams for sure. So they'll keep happening.
and also for more Brazilians, just like FC Tulsa, I think is the greatest example, at least in your division, right?
I don't know exactly, but I would guess so. Yeah, I would say so.
And the squad has changed a lot. Well, you are the example of it because you come from South Georgia Tormenta for 2 years. You've overcome a very difficult personal challenge for you, and you really made it. And I guess that migrating to moving to Tulsa is well the proof that it worked, right?
It does work. There's definitely how can we say? There's definitely like a ladder being built there. There's if you do your job right, if you do things right, you get a chance to escalate and keep moving up. So that's the goal. keep
So
moving it up.
you're the living proof of it, and the whole system that it works. It's a booming market. It's a booming league. It's a booming system as well. And how's FC Tulsa now? Because the roster has changed a lot. I mean, not that changed a lot. They're always improving. They're bringing more people, right?
We've been having a long preseason, right? Like almost 2 months, and therefore, as always, like players are trying to get to this league, players are trying to get their opportunity, and then trialists keep coming in every week, two, three, four at times, which is a nice thing, like because we had a base squad from last year. They re-signed, I think, 14 players. Players that were actually playing, players that actually helped FC Tulsa in the campaign last year, making the playoffs and all that. So we have a good core, and then they brought us a few pieces, like myself included. And it was nice to get into a place where they already had a system, they already had the same coach, a core group of guys that were accustomed to doing certain things like in a certain way. So it was easy to just being led by them, just like them showing me the way around here, and then me just executing it. Like it was pretty nice. I was really welcomed nicely here, and then I remember saying that within a week or so, I felt like already at home. Like all the guys were my brothers. There was nowhere else to go, and then I was very happy to be here. And then new guys coming in, and I felt like I was already showing how things were done here to those trialists that started coming in. And yeah, some talented players, some players in key positions that we were needing, like some depth at least, and then more players keep getting signed. And we have a new one as well that will be announced soon. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, this well, and this is certainly an organization where players have a healthy competition because there are good options, right? I think that for fans, for sure, there's the confidence that as you mentioned, the core was maintained. The core that had generated a really good regular season in the past, well, last year, and playoffs is a playoff, right? This is a different situation, but the main situation that generated a really good result in the regular season was kept. And how's this healthy competition for you? Because very quickly you showed your talent in Tulsa, right?
Well, I knew what I was getting into. I signed in December and I got here in February, so there was plenty of time to do the research to watch some games from last year, and I did that. Also, my agent represents quite a few players from this team, and then I knew about the guys a lot. I as someone coming into a new place, and people do it differently, but that's how I normally do it myself. I did the research. I knew I was getting into, but like respect everybody else always. I knew I wasn't coming in to be a superstar. I was coming from the USL League One. I was climbing the ladder, so I knew I had to prove myself. But I'm not satisfied to just be another guy, just to make it to the USL Championship. I always want more, and I think that drive is important to a professional player. And then as I got in, I super respect the guys in each position. In my position, Rodrigo is a great player. He was the number 10 mostly last year. Um, and I'm if I'm not starting, I'll be putting him pressure to bring the best out of Rodrigo, which will bring the best out of our team itself. And then I think that's the way to do it. Like Rodrigo is a good guy, good friend. So we have that very healthy competition. Like whoever's starting will be pulling for the other person, and we just want to do what's best for the team. And like we're all brought in this year, to do a better run than we did last year. So that means we have to qualify the playoffs to have a chance to do that. And then once we get to the playoffs, like you said, playoffs is playoffs. But we just don't want to be again at the playoffs and just be at the playoffs. We want to keep pushing to the max, and then eventually win something. Hardware. That's what we're playing for sure. As they say here, hashtag road to gold is the main focus.
Good. You're sharp, huh? You're very well aligned in 2 months. You understood very well the idea of the team and the speech as well. And I think the chemistry is good as the team is on the verge of starting a new season, right?
Very good, very good. Starting with our coach, Mike is a great guy. He was an ex player Our assistant coach Vuko is also an ex-player, and we played with some of the guys here in Tulsa a few years back. So they understand the language, of players, and it was a bit different on the previous club I was in. So they understand the importance of a locker room being healthy, and having that competition. The guys that they chose to keep at the club, like I said, they're a bunch of leaders. There's not just one captain that has the armband and tells everybody else what to do. We all push each other. Like, I'm new to the league, but I'm 27 years old with a lot of hunger to keep growing. So like, I keep my head down and work, but then I push people around me also, and then I cannot complain. It starts with the coaches and then goes to the players that are already here. I'm just, I guess, feeding to what Tulsa already had, and then it's nice. Obviously, it's very nice.
Now, this is great to hear. If the whole roster has the same mentality, is in the same idea, for sure, at the time that the playoffs come, the roster is going to be strong enough to deal with the situation. Because, as we mentioned, playoffs is a playoff, right? You may have done a real good season, but at that time, you have to be healthy, you have to be in a good chemistry, and a good roster helps a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. The mental aspect, comes into play, especially in big games in playoffs, and the group seems to be in a good place mentally. We're always being kept at a good place where I make talking to, either the psychology people or with their staff in general, to make sure that we're all with our minds where we need to be. Everybody's very focused, and like I said, there's our focus obviously right now is just on OKC Energy on the 24th, and then you keep moving to the next game. But yeah, we're not we just don't want to just be another contestant like some teams. Like I can't say who exactly. Every year it varies depending on the roster, but I know that inside of our locker room, we're not satisfied to just being here. We want more, more, more.
Great, great. I can't wait to watch you guys on, as I mentioned, every time in Brazil on YouTube, and the US probably through ESPN, ESPN Plus.
Hmm.
And all I can say, I wish you really good luck for you and for all the Brazilians in the roster as well, because this
Thanks.
is a promising team. Thank you very much, Lucas.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you. Good talking to you again. Whenever you need me, you just send me a message and we'll chat again. Okay.
Great. Yeah, bye bye.
Thank you. See you guys.